The described wiring configuration is likely not legal according to the National Electrical Code, NEC, for several reasons. Firstly, overcurrent protection. The feeder from the vault is rated for 325 amps, but the disconnects are only rated for 200 amps each. This means that the feeder conductors could be overloaded if a fault occurs downstream of the disconnect. Secondly, ampacity and conductor sizing. The 4/0 conductors used from the disconnects to the panels are not rated for 325 amps. The NEC requires that conductors be sized according to their ampacity, current carrying capacity, and 4/0 conductors are typically rated for 250 amps or less. Thirdly, heat buildup. The lugs and bus bars in the disconnects could potentially heat up and fail if they are subjected to currents greater than their rated capacity for an extended period of time. Now, let's discuss possible reasons for the configuration. Despite the concerns outlined above, there may be some reasons why the previous electrician installed this configuration. 1. Load balancing. By splitting the feeder into two 200 amp circuits, the electrician may have intended to balance the load between the two panels. 2. Panel capacity limitations. The panels themselves may have been limited to 200 amps, making it necessary to use two panels with separate disconnects. 3. Future expansion. The electrician may have anticipated that the load would increase in the future and installed the wiring configuration to accommodate a higher current rating. Moving on, the recommended solution would be to replace the 200 amp disconnects with disconnects rated for at least 325 amps and to replace the 4/0 conductors with conductors rated for 325 amps. This would ensure compliance with the NEC and provide adequate overcurrent protection and ampacity for the feeder. It is also important to consult with a qualified electrician to determine the specific requirements and safety measures for your particular installation. Let's delve a bit deeper into the specifics of the NEC and how it relates to this situation. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards designed to ensure the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. It's updated every 3 years, and it's essential for electricians and inspectors to stay current with the latest edition. When it comes to feeders and service entrances, the NEC has very specific requirements for overcurrent protection, conductor sizing, and equipment ratings. Overcurrent protection is designed to protect conductors and equipment from overloads and short circuits. This is typically achieved using circuit breakers or fuses. The size of the overcurrent protection device must be matched to the ampacity of the conductors it's protecting. In this case, the 325 amp feeder needs to be protected by a 325 amp overcurrent device, or in some cases, multiple smaller devices that add up to 325 amps, but the code has very specific rules regarding the use of multiple overcurrent protection devices on a single feeder. Conductor sizing is another critical aspect of electrical installations. Conductors must be sized to carry the intended load without overheating. The NEC provides tables that specify the ampacity of different types of conductors based on their size, insulation type, and installation method. In this scenario, the 4/0 conductors are not adequate for a 325 amp load. You would need larger conductors, such as 350 kcmil or larger, depending on the specific installation conditions. Equipment ratings are also important. All electrical equipment, including disconnects, panels, and lugs, must be rated for the intended voltage and current. Using equipment that is not properly rated can lead to overheating, failure, and even fire. In this case, the 200 amp disconnects are not rated for the 325 amp feeder, and they could potentially overheat and fail if subjected to currents greater than their rated capacity. Now, let's consider some of the potential consequences of using an improper wiring configuration. Overloading conductors can cause them to overheat, which can damage the insulation and potentially lead to a short circuit or fire. Overloading equipment can cause it to fail prematurely, which can result in power outages and costly repairs. Additionally, using an improper wiring configuration can void your insurance coverage and create a safety hazard for occupants. To ensure a safe and code-compliant installation, it's essential to follow the NEC guidelines and consult with a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician will be able to assess the specific load requirements of the house, determine the appropriate conductor sizes, and select equipment that is properly rated for the application. They can also ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. In addition to the NEC requirements, there may be local codes and regulations that apply to electrical installations in your area. It's important to check with your local building department to determine the specific requirements in your jurisdiction. When upgrading an electrical service, it's always a good idea to consider future needs. If you anticipate adding more electrical loads in the future, such as an electric vehicle charger or a swimming pool, it's best to size the service and conductors accordingly. This will avoid the need for costly upgrades later on. It's also important to ensure that the electrical panel has enough available spaces for future circuits. If the panel is already full, you may need to install a subpanel to accommodate additional circuits. Proper grounding and bonding are also essential for electrical safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the circuit breaker or fuse and prevent electrical shock. Bonding connects all metal parts of the electrical system together to ensure that they are at the same potential, which also helps to prevent electrical shock. The NEC has specific requirements for grounding and bonding, and it's important to follow these requirements carefully. When working with electricity, it's always important to take safety precautions. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical equipment. Use properly insulated tools and wear safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician. Electricity can be dangerous, and it's not worth risking your safety to save a few dollars. In summary, the described wiring configuration is likely not legal according to the NEC. The 200 amp disconnects are not adequately rated for the 325 amp feeder, and the 4/0 conductors are not sized appropriately. This configuration could lead to overloading, overheating, and potential safety hazards. The recommended solution is to replace the disconnects and conductors with appropriately sized components and to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure a safe and code-compliant installation. Remember, electricity is a powerful force, and it's important to treat it with respect. Always follow the NEC guidelines and consult with a qualified electrician to ensure the safety of yourself and others. Now, let's think more about the practical aspects of upgrading the electrical service. When you upgrade the service, you'll likely need to coordinate with your local utility company. They will need to disconnect the power to your house while the work is being done, and they will also need to reconnect the power after the work is complete. The utility company may also have specific requirements for the service entrance equipment, such as the location of the meter and the type of disconnect switch. It's important to contact the utility company well in advance of the upgrade to discuss their requirements and schedule the work. The electrician will also need to obtain any necessary permits from the local building department. The permit process typically involves submitting plans and specifications for the work and paying a fee. The building department will review the plans to ensure that they comply with the applicable codes and regulations. Once the permit is approved, the electrician can begin the work. During the upgrade, the electrician will need to disconnect the existing service entrance equipment and install the new equipment. This may involve replacing the meter socket, the disconnect switch, the conductors, and the electrical panel. The electrician will also need to make sure that the grounding and bonding system is properly installed. After the upgrade is complete, the building department will typically conduct an inspection to ensure that the work was done properly. If the inspection is approved, the building department will issue a certificate of occupancy, which allows you to legally use the upgraded electrical service. The cost of upgrading an electrical service can vary depending on the scope of the work and the location of the house. However, it's typically a significant investment. It's important to get several estimates from different electricians before making a decision. Be sure to ask the electricians about their experience, their qualifications, and their insurance coverage. It's also a good idea to check their references and read online reviews. When you're evaluating the estimates, be sure to compare apples to apples. Make sure that the estimates include all of the necessary materials, labor, and permits. It's also important to ask about any potential hidden costs or fees. Once you've chosen an electrician, be sure to get a written contract that outlines the scope of the work, the price, and the payment schedule. The contract should also include a warranty that covers the materials and workmanship. Before the work begins, be sure to discuss the project with the electrician in detail. Make sure that you understand the scope of the work, the timeline, and the potential disruptions to your home. It's also a good idea to ask the electrician about any safety precautions that you should take during the upgrade. During the upgrade, the electrician will need to turn off the power to your house for several hours. Be sure to plan ahead and make arrangements for any essential appliances or equipment that you need to keep running. It's also a good idea to unplug any sensitive electronic equipment to protect it from power surges. After the upgrade is complete, be sure to inspect the work carefully. Make sure that everything is working properly and that there are no loose wires or exposed connections. If you have any concerns, be sure to contact the electrician immediately. Upgrading an electrical service can be a complex project, but it's an important investment in the safety and reliability of your home. By following these tips and consulting with a qualified electrician, you can ensure that the upgrade is done properly and that your home is protected from electrical hazards. It is also prudent to consider the long-term benefits of upgrading your electrical service. A modern, well-maintained electrical system can increase the value of your home, improve its energy efficiency, and provide you with peace of mind knowing that your home is protected from electrical hazards.